the abyss. It is complete black. That's sort of true. And the fight has started. The Four Kings. These are the guys who used to rule over New Londo. This is a weird fight. It's a weird fight visually because these guys are like enormous, so you have to get up right in their grills just to be able to attack them. I remember this fight was like what broke me on New Game Plus, where I was like, this is really fucking hard. But quite honestly, in New Game, or rather just the first time doing the fight, it's a DPS race in the truest sense. You gotta fight them, you gotta take them out fast. So I back up and drink, and we're just fighting in a void. Son of a bitch. Drink. See another one rising up. Ooh, that could have been worse. I missed. Another one's getting pretty close to us. Boom. 2 down. So the crest shield's coming in handy here. It's resisting their attacks pretty well. They are doing damage through the shield though. They are not pure physical damage strikers. I missed. Oh, that's bad. Drink. Ooh. Drink. Should be one more. You motherfucker. He was closer than I even thought. So I don't know if we're going to get to see it, but this fight's kind of a lie. Oh, there it is a lie. Check it out. Four Kings. There's a 5th one. They regenerate. Luckily, the health bar doesn't go back up, but they can respawn, and it makes things a bit harder. Please don't die. Thank you. Just drink to be safe here. We have 7 Estus left. That's plenty. And we did it. Bequeath Lord Soul Shard. And for humanity. For the Four Kings. Let's read that. So this is like a soul item, but more unique and different. Soul of one of the Four Kings who fell to dark. A fragment of a Lord's soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Lord Gwyn recognized the foresight of these 4 great leaders in New Londo and granted them their ranks and the fragments of a great soul. Although this is not a full Lord soul, it can still satiate the Lord vessel. So once upon a time, the 4 Kings of New Londo were so respected by Gwyn that he gave them a tiny fragment of his Lord's soul. Because he was like, you guys are doing great. I really like this whole New Londo thing you got going on. You guys keep it up. And they're like, wow, thanks, Gwyn. And then sometime later, they kind of betrayed that confidence in a way and fell to dark, and New Londo went to shit. We're not alone in this dark abyss. You could just leave. You could just warp out with this bonfire. Well, let's have a conversation.
Greetings, undead warrior. I am the primordial serpent, Darkstalker Kaf. I can guide thee and illuminate the truth. The truth I shall share without sentiment. After the advent of fire, the ancient lords found the three souls, but your progenitor found a fourth, unique soul, the Dark Soul. Your ancestor claimed the Dark Soul and waited for fire to subside. And soon the flames did fade, and only dark remained. Thus began the Age of Men, the Age of Dark. However, Lord Gwyn trembled at the dark, clinging to his Age of Fire and in dire fear of humans, and the Dark Lord who would one day be born amongst them. Lord Gwyn resisted the course of nature by sacrificing himself to link the fire and commanding his children to shepherd the humans. Gwyn has blurred your past to prevent the birth of the Dark Lord. I am the primordial serpent. I seek to right the wrongs of the past, to discover our true Lord. But the other serpent, Frampt, lost his sense and befriended Lord Gwyn. Undead warrior, we stand at a crossroads. Only I know the truth about your fate. You must destroy the fading Lord Gwyn, who has coddled fire and resisted nature, and become the fourth Lord, so that you may usher in an age of dark.
Well, there's the most important conversation in the entire game. It's time to finally talk about the story of Dark Souls 1 at least. So let's go back all the way to episode 1 in the cutscene we saw, the creation myth. Gwyn and his Lord Bros found Lord Souls inside the First Flame. They used it to get great power, go up top, kick the dragon's asses with the help of Seath the Scaleless, and usher in the Age of Fire, a dope-ass period of time in which the lords reigned supreme and all was awesome. But then the fire starts to fade, and dark starts to take over the light. That's where it kind of leaves off in the creation myth opening cutscene. That, like, the fire fades and only embers remain. Human beings carry the dark sign, and the undead curse becomes a problem. What the game doesn't tell you, or doesn't make very clear in that opening, first 2 minutes, is that this already happened once. We are not in the Age of Fire. This game is not taking place in the Age of Fire. What we're walking around Lordran, is not the end of the Age of Fire. It's the end of Age of Fire 2 Lordran Boogaloo. This already happened. The fire was in danger of going out, the First Flame, and we were on the precipice of an Age of Dark. But Gwyn linked the First Flame. He threw more firewood into it so it would keep going, so that there'd be another 1,000 or however long it is years of Age of Fire. But when he did that, things in Lordran changed. For one, everyone left Anor Londo. We went up there and we got all those item descriptions about how Gwendolyn's the only one left, everything else is bullshit. Like, what used to be the City of the Gods and where Gwyn kept roost is now like a ghost town. There's no one there. The Age of Fire is bullshit. And then here we are as the Chosen Undead, and we start the game, and the whole quest up to this point has been bullshit. From what Oscar told us about, like, the prophecy that a Chosen Undead would come from the north and whatever, to what we heard about the 2 bells of awakening and ringing them, and then meeting Frampt and go past Sin's Fortress, go to Anor Londo, get the Lord Vessel, meet Guinevere, all that. It's all bullshit. It's a Ponzi scheme meant for the sole purpose by Frampt, and I guess Gwyn probably beforehand, of like, create this plan to where we could trick someone to link the flame and keep the Age of Fire going for a third time. That's what they want. So Frampt is a big ass liar. He is a huge manipulative liar, because when he meets the Chosen Undead, he's like, oh, Chosen Undead, you're the one. Your fate is to succeed the Lord Gwyn. It sounds like you're going to become some kind of godly king badass. That's not what linking the fire is. Linking the fire, I'll let you know now, if somehow you've never played Dark Souls, you don't know what it is. Linking the fire is giving your own life so that the first flame can be relit and keep going. Gwyn already did this. So you want to know why Gwyn has a tomb in Anor Londo? You want to know why he isn't around? It's because he went to the first flame and wrecked himself, relighting it so that the Age of Fire could, get a second chance, another mulligan, and keep going. But at what cost? I mean, it kind of solved the problem, but, not really. Who knows where the hell most of his family went? Wherever Guinevere went with Lord Flan, and whatever the fuck's... who knows? Was it worth it? I guess. It depends on what your, definition of worth it is. Now we have this dude, Kath, the Darkstalker, the one who caused this problem here in New Londo. He got to the Four Kings, and he got them to believe in this bullshit with the Dark and Age of Man and all this shit, and he caused this problem. Because in his eyes, and I guess he's from a race of primordial serpents, which isn't very well explained. It's one of the weaknesses of the series lore about, what the primordial serpents are and where they came from. Unless there's some new stuff in the final Dark Souls 3 DLC that I haven't seen yet. But anyway, he thinks that, the course of nature after the Age of Fire is naturally that the fire will fade and darkness will take over, and it'll be the Age of Man. Because that's what humanity is in Dark Souls. He said that the Chosen Undead's progenitor got the fourth Lord Soul, the Dark Soul, referring to the furtive pygmy in that opening cutscene at the start of the game. Remember, the phrase was the furtive pygmy so easily forgotten. So that basic bitch Hollow, who got the tiny little fourth Lord Soul, which is the Dark Soul, became the ancestor to all of humankind, and all humans all have the Dark Soul inside of them. In other words, the dumb, source of the game's title, the series title, Dark Souls, is referring to humanity as a whole. Humans are the Dark Souls. So, Kath believes that fire's stupid, linking the fires for losers. Screw that. Usher in the Age of Dark, become the Lord of Darkness. This is mankind's time. Fuck Gwyn, fuck all that. So, right now, the decision I'm faced with, yes or no, actually doesn't matter. This game has two endings, depending on what you do after the final boss fight. And no matter what you say to Frampt or Kath in the middle of the game, that's all irrelevant. Ultimately, it comes down to what you decide after the final boss fight. You can go along with one guy's plan and then change it up at the very end. It doesn't really matter. But for now, I'm going to say yes to Kath, because he's going to take us somewhere new. We could have done this with Frampt. Had I gone and talked to Frampt right after getting the Lord Vessel and returning to Firelink Shrine, we could have had a similar conversation. But, let's do it with Kath.
I shall now guide you to Gwyn's prison. Be still, and trust thine flesh to me.
Four souls.
This is Gwyn's prison. Now, place the Lord Vessel upon the altar.
So I think you can bone out if you really don't want to do this. So the first decision that matters in this game is who you take to this place, to the Firelink altar, and place the Lord Soul with. So by doing this with Kath now, once I place the Lord Vessel, Frampt will find out and he'll be pissed. And likewise, what's probably more common to happen to most players, is that you just go along with what Framp's saying, and you get the Lord Vessel and talk to him and come here and do the thing, place the Lord Vessel, and you end up never meeting Kath if that happens. So if you go down to New Londo after that and fight the Four Kings, he never shows up. And I imagine that happened for probably the vast majority of players when Dark Souls came out like 7 years ago. Now, the only downside to doing this with Kath is that I now lose the ability to have Frampt break down my my items and chew them up and my materials and whatnot, but I can live without it. So I imagine right now Framp's like, what the fuck? How did he... Ah, Kath, that son of a bitch. So by placing the Lord Vessel, this happens. Remember that place? That's over by the entrance of Anor Londo. There are 3 of these doors. We ended up only seeing 1 of them. The other 2 we have yet to see. What does this say? Here, true.
Very well. Once the vessel is filled with souls, the gate to Gwyn shall open. Seek Gravelord Nito, the Witch of Izalith, and the traitor Seath the Scaleless. Fill this vessel with their souls, then the gate will open, so that you may kill Gwyn. Are you ready? Then let us return to the abyss. Entrust thine flesh to me.
I like that the Chosen Undead like makes a noise when he gets picked up. Ugh! Like, this is unpleasant as it looks. And back to the abyss we go. The abyss. So there's my bonfire. But Kath has another function.
Ah, if you wish, I shall grant the art of life drain, the legendary power of the Dark Lord. It can preserve your humanity while undead, and cast off the shackles placed upon your brethren. Undead warrior, to speak now is premature. It begins with your retrieval of the Lord Vessel. They failed me, every last one of them. They were strong, but saw not the truth. I am certain that you will prove different.
Referring to all the dark wraiths he's trained over the years.
They failed.
So Warp, I think, takes you back to that altar. So he's a covenant. This is the Dark Wraith Covenant. Very missable. Let's join it. Dark Hand. Already had one, right? Yeah, I picked one off of one of the Dark Wraiths. Ask for Covenant item. So you can get cracked red eye orbs off him to go invade people. And you could offer humanity, which I assume after so many ranks up the Covenant, but I don't know what the rewards are. I'll look into that later.
Farewell.
At some point I lost the soft humanity. I didn't get grabbed by one of the Dark Wraiths, did I? I don't know when that happened. I'll have to look that up later. I'll have to like look back at the footage. You might have noticed it, but I sure as heck didn't. Access the bottomless box. Let me put away that Sif soul. So the thing that I got from the Four Kings, that's a key item. I don't have to worry about accidentally popping that. That's no big deal. I don't know if I'm going to actually do any of the Dark Wraith stuff. I mainly got it for the trophy, actually. I would like to platinum this version of the game, so just put those away. Put away the composite bow. Don't need that canvas talisman anymore. Okay, let's warp. Let's go to Anor Londo. Oh, I should have gone to Firelink. I should talk to Frampt, because he's going to be pissed. Just want to make sure everything's good here. Yep. Everything's fine, so let's go talk to Frampt. He's going to be mad. I honestly cannot remember what it is he says in this situation. You can also, ultimately still meet Kath, and then use Frampt to go down there and place the Lord Vessel, and that'll piss off Kath. Hey, Frampt, guess what?
Sorry, fool. You could not be the chosen one. Enough. I shall slumber until I am awakened again.
Bye. He just pieces out for the rest of the game. I've lost the ability to use his services, but I guess I care more about what Kath is offering me with this covenant. And that's it for Frampt. We'll never see him again. That's what you get for being a lying douchebag. Well, if we're gonna go all in on like the evil magic here, you might as well go all in. So let's head on over to the Chamber of the Princess. I think I figured out what it is that Guinevere's Covenant does. I think it gives you access to 2 particular miracles, which you don't even get from her. You find them in a different area. I haven't gotten them yet. But I think you can't even use them unless you're in her Covenant. No big deal.
Oh, chosen undead, thou hast...
Okay, she says nothing new.
Father's role thou should assume. Thou shalt end it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Thou shalt go. May the...
Thou that tarnisheth the Godmother's image, I am Gwyndolin. And thy transgression shall not go unpunished. Thou shalt perish in the twilight of Anor Londo.
So things are different now. The illusion has stopped. I should level up though. It's been a minute. I got 100,000 on me. Let's see. I'm going to put a little bit into Vit. Yeah, let's get Vit up to 14. I'm so close to another level. So I get into my inventory, pop something, we'll get it up to 15. How about this one? That's a little too much, but okay. So, Anor Londo, a big lie, huh? When we get outside, we'll see just how bad it really is. I said that this place was one big illusion caused by Gwyndolin's bullshit. Gwyndolin being the last born of the kids of Gwyn. Notice how Gwyndolin doesn't even get his own, like, statue. They took out the firstborn statue, but they couldn't give anything to Gwyndolin. Gwyndolин's kind of hidden in the shadows. Right, so getting rid of the illusion immediately spawns these 2 dudes. Guy on the left is a Boulder Knight. Guy on the right's one of the Berenice Knights, Bereniki Knights, or whatever. He looks a lot like the Crestfallen Merchant. I don't think he technically is, though. I think he just shares like a similar character model. I guess I could always go check Sin's Fortress after this, but okay. Ah, bastard. He's got a great sword he's using on me. Come on, attack. Drink. These guys are, theoretically, they are Blades of the Dark Moon. They are a part of the covenant that I was in. They serve Gwendolyn. Which is a really interesting concept because they should be... Like, these guys shouldn't even technically be alive, theoretically. Because they are, they're, you know, soldiers of the foreign forces that came to Anor Londo. But I guess they ended up getting recruited. They survived. This guy used to serve Rendal. Presumably the other guy served Tarkus. He's got my same sword. Oh, motherfucker. That was weird. He got in through my shield on that second swing. Enough of that. You're done. So here we go. Anor Londo. Because why would the sun be out here? The sun left Anor Londo. Guinevere and Gwyn are no longer here. The Lord of Sunlight, the Princess of Sunlight, they're gone. Crap, I forgot you were on this side. This is going to be annoying. Okay. That's the Bonfire Keeper.
So it was you, was it? How dare you produce a blade upon a deity? How did you ever get this far? I shall end your suffering here and now.
She's using that miracle that I got. She's fat. She's got the fat roll going on in her cool brass set. I'm not sure what she's using in her left hand. Is that a parrying dagger, I think? She really wants me to start the fight here. Oh. Damn it. Drink. Ah, she got me. I survived, though. But damn, that did a lot. Good thing I leveled up the Vit. Yeah, get around to her back. Don't let her try to get those parries. Oh, fucking bitch got me. Lucky that didn't end up in a riposte, or else I'd be super dead. Come on. Get around to her back again. Can't kick her open from that. Stupid parrying dagger.
But how? This man is a threat, Master Gwendolyn.
Firekeeper's soul. So she was also a Blade of the Dark Moon all along. So you notice how there are less things here? Like those gargoyles are gone. The giants are gone. They were fake. They were also illusions. The Silver Knights are real. The Silver Knights that are like in the main area of Anor Londo that way should still be there. I think the archer assholes are still there. Giant Blacksmith, he's real. He's still doing his thing downstairs. But a lot of this has been fake. Which begs the question, were Ornstein and Smo real? That would be a really good question that I don't have the answer to. I just straight up don't. I don't know whether or not they're real. And Dark Souls 2 and 3 make it really confusing, especially with Ornstein. I'm going to try something out here. So this part of the game is really, really aggravating. Because killing the Bonfire Keeper, killing her, she has a name, but I think I have to get her set for us to learn it. The main bonfire all the way on near the entrance to Anor Londo is now busted. Just like the Firelink bonfire was busted when Lautrec did his bullshit and killed Anastasia, that's her name. So that thing doesn't work anymore for like for purposes of sitting down. This one works. But there's a like weird catch to where if I go through that door and Gwendolyn kills me, I might get sent back to that first one regardless and not this bonfire. Even though I just sat at it, it's bullshit. And it's super inconvenient. So dying to Gwendolyn is fucking horseshit because it becomes a super inconvenience. But I think there's a way to mitigate it if you like mess with the game's mechanics. So I'm going to try going back to Firelink, and I'm going to make Firelink my home bonfire. And then I'm going to sit, well, I'm going to sit at Firelink, then I'm going to warp back there to the Darkmoon Tomb. So if I screw up in Gwendolyn's fight, I might get sent back to Anor Londo, like the first area, but using a homeward bone from that location should hopefully send me back here. Because the problem is if you get sent back to that first bonfire, now it's out because I killed the Firekeeper. So, like, once you're there, you can't warp away from it. So hopefully this will save time. Let's go and challenge Gwendolyn. This should be fun.